What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Next Wave podcast. I'm one of your hosts, B. Zanny, joined by my co-host, D. Woody. And today we've got a chunky episode for you. Gonna touch on some quick hitters to get started, and then we've got to cover the first weekend, the inaugural weekend of the Black Ops 6 CDL season. We've got some spicy things to talk about that transpired here today. So let's get into it. Episode 47. See you there. All right, Dak, how you doing, man? Another week in the books. First weekend of Call of Duty League done. How we feeling?
Good, man. I'm so glad to be back in the COD season. I was locked in watching matches. It felt like off season was only a month. Now that we're watching matches again, it feels like MW3 just ended. So
Yeah, it does. We were bitching. It did get started faster though this year.
yeah,
Like first week of December, we're starting matches. That was not the case.
yeah,
Last year. So, and we had Esports World Cup to make it feel even a little bit shorter. Had some extra COD following champs. Um, so it definitely felt a little bit quicker at the turnover. But week one was fun to watch. We'll get into the matches here soon. But one thing that did also transpire was the FIFA World Cup
yeah,
for Rocket League.
yeah. So FIFA threw an E-World Cup for Rocket League. We had 16 countries, all players from those countries representing those teams. So we had a wide variety of skills. Some teams were mostly bubble players. Some teams were absolute superstar demon teams. Some were in between. So it was really interesting to see who was going to show up and take it. Obviously, France was a super team. They had Zen, Monkey Moon, and Vatira, which is absolutely insane. Saudi Arabia had the Falcons roster, the two twins, and TRK. And USA, you would think, would have First Killer, Beast Mode, Daniel, guys like that. But apparently 6 players declined the invite, which left us with Captain America, Reddles himself, and his 2 sidekicks, Magic Bear and Cheese, to defend our country's honor. And they tried their hardest. Okay, so just hopping into their matches, the format was great. And just to kind of give you an overview of the tournament, it was great. I mean, production-wise, awesome. The stage was awesome. Casters were great. Front desk was great. They had a concert before the last day. Like, it was sick. It was like Valorant level, great production. So that was awesome. So the format was also great. And basically, it was 2 pools of 8 teams in each pool. And the top 4 from each pool move on to bracket play during the weekend. So they just play each other nonstop, and then the top 4 move on. So USA started playing Argentina, which was like AJG, who used to be on Complexity, and like 2 other guys I had never really heard of. And obviously USA should handle business, and they did. Took an early lead, held on to win both games. It was kind of low scoring, but they never really wavered. Like, I never thought that they were going to lose those games. So they came out hot, did good. And then they played Portugal, which is Vadi, Rafa, and Beyond. All bubble-ish players or South American players. So, they don't have too much experience. And USA, I thought, would come out and handle business. But they kind of played to their competition and let Portugal, do their thing. And USA won, but they kind of let them hang around. And this is when I was like, oof. Oof. Like, this ain't good. So then they had to play Morocco, who was a really good team. It was Itachi, Nas, and Drawley. Disgusting team. They're all like, Drawley and Nas, I'm pretty sure, came from ones. So they're all super mechanical gods. And, I mean, we were kind of hanging on by a thread there. And this was the start of day 2 also. So there was like 2 days in the pool play part, and then bracket play was day 3 and 4.
Okay.
So, I mean, day 2, we played Morocco. This was like our first real oh shit match, and yeah, they pretty much dogged us. They punched us in the mouth early and just steamrolled us the whole rest of the time. So yeah, so here I was like, please just hold on to the 4th seed, because going into day 2, we were like barely 4th seed. I think Chile was right behind us. So yeah, that was not a good start. We play our Argentina again, 2-0, easy. Pretty much had them clamped up the whole time. Played Brazil, which is Furia's roster. It's lost. What's his name? Jans and them.
Jans.
So pretty solid squad. And they were both close games. USA almost forced a draw because they were 2-game series. You either go 2-0 or you tie 1-1 or you lose both.
Oh.
And it's like a point system
Yeah.
based on all that. So we almost forced a draw in game 2 overtime, but they lost. So
Dang.
so USA had to go play France. Absolute assault. I mean, that was cyberbullying on stream. It was messed up. I mean, we got Braziled one game. It was bad.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it was bad. So that left us to play Chile in a tiebreaker, winner take all type of match for that 4th spot. And game 1 was pretty crazy. It was back and forth. Both teams had leads multiple times throughout that game. And then USA gave up a goal with 19 seconds left. And so Chile went to overtime. USA, we had all kinds of good looks. Reddles and Magic Bear were all over the place. But Chile was literally peaking. Like, all of them were making the most insane saves I've ever seen. I mean, you could just tell, like, they came to play, like, something had lined up that day because they were on one. And some dude on Chile, David Trox, had never even played a LAN before, like a RLCS LAN. He's like, yeah, he's just like a South American bubble player, I guess, that never quals because they only have 2 spots. So that dude was peeking on us. He scored in overtime. And then game 2, we struck first, went up 1-0. And then, of course, it's like Reddles and them will go up and then, like, get comfortable or just kind of, like, tame and let a team back in. And then they peak for a second because they're like, oh, shit, we're losing, but we're better than them. We shouldn't be losing. And then they get comfortable again and let the team back in. Like, they just never stomp on somebody and continuously crush them for 5 minutes. So
Stuck in the cycle.
Yeah, so Chile, once again, forces a crazy OT, and they were just shelling the shit out of us, and they were also still making godlike saves, and eventually the pressure was too much, and we broke. So
the heart rates were too high.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The heart rate monitors was another thing that was cool about this tournament. So you could see who was breaking on stage, and literally everyone had a heart rate average of like 130, and then Monkey Moon in overtime was at a cool 72.
That's still so
just chilling. Just he's a killer,
That's a
bro.
resting heart rate.
Yeah, like he's actually a killer. It's insane. So tough loss for the USA boys. I mean, I feel like they did all they could. Chile just peaked. They actually just came out and peaked, and sometimes there's nothing you can do about that. So USA fell. We didn't go on to bracket play, and I stopped watching. Saudi Arabia ended up winning it all. They pretty much shit pumped everyone all the way to the finals, and then they played France and beat France 4-0.
That's crazy.
No, 4-1. 4-1.
Still.
Yeah. So they came out and handled business. All the other games they played were 4-0.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They dropped one map.
Yeah. So and you texted me, what's up with the Saudi boys being so good at these off-season tournaments?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
They win these off-season tournaments all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, they won EWC, I'm pretty sure, and then they came in second. They came in second at the Gamers 8 thing to version 1, and then this. So yeah, they're just off-season reapers, I guess.
They are.
So yeah, tough day for the USA boys though.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though. Shout out FIFA for throwing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it got positive feedback from everybody. I mean, pretty much all the content creators and, pros that weren't there and stuff were saying, like, what a great event. We need to do this more often. Rocket League is the perfect esport for, like, a World Cup type of thing. So, yeah, this is a W for the future.
Remember when we were theorizing EWC for COD, like actually being World Cup, and we
Yeah.
thought it was going to be USA teams and shit?
Yeah.
That was a pipe dream.
Yeah, and that would have just been so lopsided. Like, I'm glad that EWC doesn't do the whole country by country thing, because
Yeah, that would have been
every game would just be
USA.
dominated by a certain country.
Yeah, it'd be USA and then Canada and then everyone else pretty much.
Yeah.
And then we've got some Cyberpunk. Is this like the real life looking Cyberpunk?
No, that's just like little updates that they do here and there, I'm pretty sure. But this was like an actual big update. So Cyberpunk rolled out, and I don't even know if this, I mean, everyone that I've seen tweet about this, it seems like they didn't know this was coming. So it's kind of cool. Like, they just added all kinds of new quality of life type things. Like, you can drive by cars now, and if you like the paint color on that car that you're seeing, you can scan it and put it on your car that you're in, like, immediately.
Some Autobot shit.
Yeah, exactly. Or they added like hundreds of new customization options as far as like facial features, eyes, hair, tattoos, things like that for your character. And then, you know, they fixed some quest lines and stuff, and they also added a thing where if you're just driving in your car, Keanu Reeves' character can randomly like pop up in the passenger seat and just like start talking to you, because he's like in the game, he's like a part of your conscious, you know, like,
yeah,
so he'll just like randomly be in your car talking to you. And I don't know, it just kind of like they have brought an update that just kind of brought some life to the game, I guess.
That's good.
Yeah, so it was cool to see. I'll definitely be back on there. I just re-downloaded Cyberpunk last week and been playing it here and there, so you know.
I still need to finish it too. I never really finished it.
Yeah, it's like GTA if it had a dope RPG open world element to it.
And then last quick hitter, which is kind of our segue here, is we got news today, Thursday, December 12th, that Fred is no longer on the Optic Call of Duty team, and Hook will be replacing him. Now, there's a lot that came with this sort of
weird,
leak,
bro.
I guess, today, because it was a leak, but it's been confirmed that Pred is being dropped and Hook is being brought up. We know that it's personal reasons why Pred is being dropped. There have been leaked screenshots and people tweeting that apparently Pred has a crippling gambling addiction. Now,
that's the rumor mill.
That's the rumor mill, okay? So we have no idea if that's real or not. First thing I think of is it's his money, who cares what he does with it, right? That's my initial thought.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also got to think about the environment you're in as a team competing together with each other every day. There's no way that aspect of your life doesn't seep into your relationships or seep into your work or anything like that.
Yeah. Well,
I just feel like when it becomes an addiction, it ends up trumping your priorities and stuff like that.
And I've seen people tweet like he's been like hitting people up for like loans type shit and like blowing thousands and thousands on like sports betting and just anywhere, any type of shit like that.
I mean, like, yeah, we saw what he was doing during the offseason.
This is a straight up rumor. All right, like this could all just be false,
fabricated
bullshit out of nowhere that somebody put on the timeline and people are running with it. So we're saying if this is true, like this is the level that it has to be at for him to just abruptly stop playing in the middle of a season after they just won champs and they're on the biggest org with the most eyes on them. Like, if it is gambling, then it would have to be so bad that it's affecting people at Optic, his teammates, Hex, you know, like their content things, stuff like that. Like, it's got to be really bad if it is gambling. So
that's what
I feel like you'd know about that before. I don't know. I feel like people would know he's got a gambling issue before now.
Prior to the
because I feel like it would be more of his personality.
I instantly thought it's got to be visa issues, and then Ben J started going on saying Ben J stuff that only he knows about for some reason. He's got a P1 visa, and I'm like, dude, we don't know what a P1 is. Like, we play the game. You don't.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know. I mean, he's been here long enough. I'm assuming he's good on the visa side of things. I never
that's
really
what I said
thought
too.
that.
He's been here for a while. Like, it's never been an issue
Yeah.
prior. So
Now, another thing, my first reaction was like maybe he's got a family member sick or something and he's got to go back
right.
home for.
That's what we've seen a lot of in the past.
Yeah, but I just feel like that is something where if that's the case, you would
he
tweet that out.
and
He
let
would tweet
people
that
know.
out. Optic would tweet that out and let people know, like, hey, you know, he's got some family stuff going on, not personal
Respect his
things.
privacy.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah, keep
This
his
is-
family in your prayers.
He's been unfollowed by Optic. He's been unfollowed by Optic Texas. He's lost his affiliate badge with Optic on Twitter. Like,
Yeah.
this is like real.
Yeah.
Like, this is like this doesn't look temporary. To
Everything about this just seems like it happened out of nowhere. Like it seemed like Optic was making content, playing their games normally as if there was no issue going on at all. And this was like never something that they could have foreseen. Like that, like Pred was just Pred, and everyone was normal, everything was going good. And then something happened, and shit hit the fan immediately, and he had to be gone.
me. Yeah.
Like it's just so weird.
Especially
It was in
being
the middle
live.
of a day on a Wednesday. They tweeted that shit yesterday at like 1 p.m. Hook will be replacing Pred. I was like, what? I thought it was a joke.
Yeah. No, that's insane. And like him being live yesterday, playing ranked play, like I don't know.
I just hope
need some clarity.
I just hope he didn't do anything stupid. I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
I hope everything is going to be fine. But this situation is a little weird to me. And I almost feel like it's going to be for a long time. Something feels off about this.
Yeah, I know. We need some clarity. But
Yeah, we do.
But what we do know for sure is that he is gone and Hook is replacing him. How do we feel about the Optic lineup right now?
I love it. I love it. I think
I love it
Hook
too.
is the only person that could replace on Optic Pred or anybody on Optic in a time of need, and
Pre-existing
Optic could
chemistry.
still have good chem and like still be in contention for a good year. I feel
And,
like
like,
if you just
yes-
threw a random challengers player on there or something, like you're not getting another ghosty situation. I feel like
No.
that was lucky. That was a lucky ass
And
situation.
it's also like, yes, they both play SMG, but they played nothing alike
Yeah.
when it comes to play style at that role. Pred is very ADS heavy, playing off angle, a corner,
Mhm.
rotate into a weird angle. Kyler is going or Hook is going to be in your face challenge
Yeah.
24/7. So I'm curious how that's going to change and affect Shotzi's ability to get lost.
Yeah.
Because ideally, while Shotzi's getting lost, Pred is playing for the guys
Yeah.
for the guys, challenging the normal angles. Now he may not be straight up squaring.
Mhm.
He'll either be squaring or playing a corner. Effectively, he's still taking care of those areas of the map off
Mm-hmm.
spawn, whereas Hook will just be W keying towards it
Yeah.
and slide challenging. So I don't know if the faster pace of Hook will offset anything that Shotzi's been doing after this first week, as we'll get into it.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that's the only concern I have.
I feel you, and I think Shotzi is going to have to change up some things a little bit. But if you recall, in MW2, that split when Optic went undefeated,
Yeah.
they were insane. Hook and Shotzi were insane. They would get in flow state at the same time and just be insane. They'd be in spawns, just trapping people, being menaces on the map. So
Yeah.
it may
And
be
he
a
looks
little bit
insane
of
at
some
this
growing
game.
pains, but once they find that flow out, they're going to be nuts. I think they'll be insane.
Yeah. And Hook already looks good, right? Like,
Yeah.
even before this situation, first of all, of course, like, thank God Optic was able to find this out ahead of time.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a thing where they saw they maybe saw into the future of what a problem for Pred could have been, and we're like, Hook is really good right now.
Yeah.
We should just get him while we can.
Yeah, maybe they saw like Pred was going to have to step away for this reason at some point. So let's just do it now while Hook's available, because like we don't want to pick
and
up anyone else.
Practice while we can.
Yeah,
especially.
I don't know, but the whole situation is really weird. I'm not assuming anything. I'm just gonna wait for the facts to come out, and I just hope everything's all right with Pred, because
Yep,
we love Pred. So
that's a good way
damn, man.
to wrap it up. But that means that Optic was the first people or the first team to make a roster change, and we're about to throw it to something that we pre-recorded before the season started, so you know it's legit. We did our 2024 or our Black Ops 6 CDL predictions, in which neither of us predict the correct person to make a team change. So let's go ahead and throw it over to our former selves for our predictions before we get into this recap. All right, so let's get our 2024 CDL predictions. We did this 2 years going now. So did we didn't the first time wasn't on the podcast though. We just did it for fun,
Yeah, that was the
and then we
Vanguard
started.
season. And
Yeah,
then
and then we just
I don't
started the
think we did
podcast.
it in MW2. I think we did it last year when we started this podcast.
Right, we skipped a year. We
Yeah.
skipped a year. That's right. Okay. So these are the different categories we got. We got champs, which is obviously who wins champs, MVP, rookie of the year, first in the standings before champs, last in the standings, most surprising team. This is just someone who was underrated that overperformed. First 1v4, first donut, first 50, and first roster change. I don't think we didn't have a 1v4 or a donut last year, did we? Was there a donut?
I feel like we definitely had a donut at some point. We had to.
We had to have. You're right. There's no
But
way.
I don't think a 50 bomb ever happened. It was always like 40 was so crazy.
No,
when
yeah, the
someone would hit
highest
that.
was 40 something.
Yeah, but I think this game
Oh,
is 50
absolutely.
bomb worthy for sure.
Absolutely. Which is going to be insane for.
Prize picks.
Now that I'm thinking about it, these prize picks lines aren't that high.
Yeah, I
It's like,
think,
imagine a 50 bomb.
I wonder if they. I don't know how they factor it. I mean, you got to think a company that lets you bet on COD knows their shit, like scientifically how to make a prediction line, you know? So these lines might be hella accurate, but I feel like they might be a little low at first.
We'll see.
Yeah,
I
we'll
mean, that's
see.
usually how it goes.
We'll see how the weekend
you know,
goes.
like naturally.
Yeah.
Okay, so champs. Who do you think's going to win it all, Dak?
I picked FaZe.
Okay.
All right,
You think
I
they're
picked
due?
FaZe. I think they're due. I think it's a Treyarch game. FaZe always wins in Treyarch games. I think it's too obvious to say the Thieves would win it because they're obviously the best team on paper. And I think it's just going to be really, really tough for Optic to go back-to-back. So give me FaZe.
Okay. Well, I think they're going back to back.
Okay.
I got Optic as the champs.
No bias, of course. No bias on this podcast.
Honestly, it's impossible for me to not be biased, like no matter how hard I try, but I feel like a non-biased me would also say Optic. So
Okay.
I just think usually everyone chases the back-to-back, right? That's usually the only motivation you have because you come into the next game, you're obviously the best team, everyone else is making changes, you're sticking together for the most part, you just want a world championship. Usually they're like, let's get 2 in a row.
Right.
We come into here, they come in as champs, and they're not even regarded the best team. The super team formed.
Yeah.
And like, we thought they were a super team, and even more super team formed in 100 Thieves
super,
and the LA
super
Thieves.
team.
And so I think that's even another chip, but they got a chip on each shoulder to go back to back and prove that the LA Thieves aren't the best team in the game.
Yeah.
So I got Optic as being the champs. Next we got MVP. Who do you have?
Hydra.
I put Hydra as well.
Yeah. I mean, he'll thrive on that team.
Yeah, he's gonna thrive on that team and on this game. So I definitely think Hydra is gonna have the numbers to back that up. So Rookie of the Year is the next one, and before looking at the teams, me and Dak were like, "Who the hell are the rookies?" It is all of the members of Team Falcons and Rancor on Miami. So really not much to choose from. Me and Dak both said that if an AM that is in the league, because we think that the first calls up are going to be Illy, Hook, Capsule, Asim, Brack, people who have played in the league before. So they're not going to be qualified as rookies. So I think if someone were to get picked up like Lunars or
Cobra.
Dylan
People
Rex
that have been talked
Cobra
about in the last year or so.
they would win it over those
Yeah.
5 options. But I put King Abadi just because he was the person challenging pros for
Okay.
$1,000 or whatever.
Okay. I put Rencor because he's on a real pro COD team.
True. I forgot. Winning kind of plays a factor into it.
But
first in the stand,
realistically, I don't think we know the rookie of the year yet.
No,
he's not on a roster yet.
Yeah. First in the standings, I put FaZe just because it happens every year.
Yeah,
they're always really good online, super consistent online. I think that they'll beat LA Thieves more than often than not online.
Yeah.
As well as Optic maybe. But they'll obviously exchange blows because that's just how all three of them are gonna work.
Yeah.
But I got FaZe.
Yeah, same here.
Okay.
That was easy.
Last in standings, who do you got?
Boston going back to back, baby. Yes,
Me too.
sir.
Me too. I got Boston going back to back, which leads to the next segment, which is most surprising. I think Falcons are going to end up being the most surprising.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and skip to the next section here as well, because I think they're going to make the first roster. I'm skipping to the last segment. I think they're going to make the first roster change.
Really?
As well, which is why I think they're going to end up not being the bottom of the standings and the most surprising team.
Okay. Interesting.
And be better and get better.
Okay. Interesting.
Clay is in that camp. He's
Clay
not
is
going to tolerate shitters.
That's true. I don't know if he has the keys like that, because this is a Saudi-owned team. They obviously brought their own players in. Are they going to abandon those players that fast? Or at any point, are they going to bring in other Saudi players
when
these don't work out? I don't know what to expect.
Prior to us recording, I think we might have been recording. I don't know. I made up some storylines in my head. These are made man, this is me.
You're gonna look like a fucking genius when it happens. Okay, so all right. Hold on. So biggest surprise.
Who's your most surprising?
Yeah, biggest surprise. Some people may not even consider this a surprise, but I'm putting Ultra. I think Ultra might have a good split, maybe early. I don't know, but they still got Insight. They still got CleanX, and they got Beans, who's an absolute fryer. So that may balance him, and Insight may balance each other out. And then they also picked up Joe Deceive, so their subs are nasty.
Dude. Obviously when you think of who the small maps favor, you think of the best SMGs in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Think about Insight. I was worried about him with Omni movement and keeping up with the pace, but these maps are tiny. He has to take 5 steps and he's holding a cut.
Yeah.
So my faith is kind of restored in Insight. I'm not taking back what I said because we didn't know how small the maps were. My thoughts were still valid at that time.
Right.
But now that we know what maps are being played, I think I'm buying some Insight stock here. I took his over in my parlay. So I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
like you're saying for their expectation.
I think you could see them on a Sunday. You might see them on one tournament, go to Sunday, and they have a good run. Like they have a good ass roster.
Well, going to Sunday is what is their expectation because they're technically regarded as the 4th best team right now, which would be Sunday.
Okay, are they? See, I didn't know. I thought it was just 3, and then
maybe I'm pretty sure most people are
was 4, maybe.
Yeah. Well, actually, you may be right.
Because I just haven't really seen anyone talk about Ultra like that. But
you may be right, actually.
Yeah,
but a bunch of people, I know people have said 4th.
Yeah, I was thinking like top 6 or 8 for Ultra. And then
okay.
I don't know.
That makes sense then.
Like
that
T6.
Makes sense though.
Yeah. Okay. So I was just thinking maybe they have a good run, take it to Sunday, get like top 3 at a tourney, and turn some heads. Decent team. I like their roster.
Since I skipped to roster change to fill my storyline, what's your first roster change?
Okay, this one it has no logical reason as to why. I just saw Vivid and said Ravens.
I mean,
he's in a new role.
Any team Slasher and Tej have been on in the past few years make constant changes.
Yep.
So
and Vivid. So I just feel like Vivid's playing a new role, isn't he? He's AR this year. Like that's just kind of weird in itself.
He was running an AR a lot in challengers when he went
Yeah,
down last year. So he
yeah,
has a little bit. But yeah, no, that's a good shout.
yeah. I don't know. That team might just break after one split and then change it up.
First 1v4, I literally just looked at the rosters and whoever was looking at me with that and had ice and I know that I could count on them, uh, that's who I chose and it was Attach.
Mine was Caesar Skies.
I'm pretty sure that's no, I said Draza last year. I said
Yeah,
Draza.
yeah. Skies had a lot of like 1v2s, 1v3s last season,
Yep.
and I just feel like he's always last alive in those weird ass positions, bro.
Dashy got snubbed.
Yeah, yeah, he did. I thought about him.
First donut, I did the exact same thing, but the opposite. I said, "Who's screaming? I'm a shitter."
Okay.
And Metals was looking at me funny, bro.
Damn, that was my bad, bro. Damn, all
He's
right.
looking at me funny, bro.
Hey,
Metals
Lucky.
is dropping the first donut.
Hey, Lucky was looking at me, and I almost wrote him down. So it's funny you say that, but I ended up going with Crimp. All right.
Okay.
And
The inconsistent.
here's why. He was very inconsistent last year, and I'm talking like 1 kill or 20 kills. And
Yeah.
he I don't know. I just wanted a sub that was kind of like in your face, make or break, like you're either going to drop a bunch of kills or get shit on in an S&D.
Yeah. And like when you think of someone that's just up in your face, even in S&D, I think of Nero, but like Nero's actually like
he's
like
a
he
fryer.
converts.
Yeah.
He converts. Crimp is super like much more inconsistent.
Yeah.
Especially in respawn, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Okay.
50
We got
bomb.
first 50 bomb. I put my MVP,
Hydra. Okay. I thought about
That's-
Hydra, but I put Scrap.
Okay, fair. I just who won MVP the year before in MW2?
Probably Hydra. I think it was
You think
Hydra.
so? Oh yeah, duh. It was Hydra. And then this past year it was Simp. The subs are I mean, they've been ruling. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens this year, but that was our 2024 CDL predictions. Let us know who you guys think is going to win it all next year. Let's get into the next topic. All right. Well, as you can see, our team change, our first person to team change did not go as planned. I put the Falcons because I had that theory in my head that they would somehow, make a team change and become a team that exceeded their expectations, but we were wrong.
Yeah, no, I think I would have been wrong 11 times.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
11 times.
before getting it right. Man, that's
Maybe
crazy.
10. Maybe I would have said Optic before Thieves. Maybe.
Yeah, true. But, man, never could have seen this coming.
Nope. But with that being said, we have a full weekend of COD to get into here and review the matches. So if you want to go ahead and pull up our amazing slideshow.
Ah, yes. A new
this
feature for the recaps, all right, for our OG fans. If you guys watched our recaps last year, we didn't have this bad boy here. So let me pull this up.
Yes.
All right.
You better capitalize with the X next time, or we're going to have a problem.
Oh, dang, my bad, man.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll let it pass this time.
All right. Take it away.
All right, we've got our new and improved segment of reviewing the matches here. So last time, if you remember, or all throughout last year, we just shared the screen and went through the Breaking Point page. But now we've got our week-by-week slideshow. So go ahead and get us into the first slide here, the first match of the weekend.
Yeah, so real quick, how do you feel like the first weekend went? Like, just production-wise and everything?
I think we had the first match had some issues and the last match had some issues.
Yeah, we literally bookended the weekend on delays,
which is fine. I think a good line to set before the weekend was probably around four matches that had issues of the 12 or so. So I definitely think that's a positive.
Yeah, definitely.
The Codcaster is abysmal. We really need some improvements on Codcaster. First off, what was like a 1 in 100 bug last year where the names weren't correct? It happened maybe once or twice, and it, for some reason was towards the end of the year. That was a common theme.
Yeah.
in this weekend of matches, and also the RCXD is stuck on the camera angle from when you first get on it. So let's say you call it in a corner, it's going to be facing that opposite corner the whole entire time. So if it turns right, the camera's staying this way, and half the time, we have no idea what the RC car is doing in search. So honestly, aside from the Codcaster, which it has nothing to do with the CDL and the broadcast, I think it went great. They also added a segment between map 2 and 3 to fill some of that dead time, which I thought was great from the production.
Yeah, no, honestly, the weekend went a lot better than I expected. After Kayson's tournament and how many delays there were, how bad the game was running there, I was like, holy hell, how are we going to get this running by December 6th?
Kind of a good test dummy, though, for the CDL to see, like, we can't have this problem.
Yeah, I'm glad we got that out of the way at an off-season tournament and not day one of the season. But
right.
But no, I agree. I mean, everything went pretty well. The scoreboard is still an issue, and that is extremely unacceptable to have an issue 2 seasons in a row not be fixed. I mean, I understand things happen and things are hard to fix, but you're also a AAA gaming company, the biggest, most rich gaming company in the world. Like, come on.
That's not even really what I was even mentioning. So, like, yes, there was oftentimes on certain people's POVs, the scoreboard did not show the accurate amount of kills, which definitely was the case in this, but they also, they were different people on the kill feed.
Yes,
on
in the
scoreboard.
cam.
Yeah. Not even, no, the cam
and the
right,
name
was the only
were never
thing
right
correct
for me sometimes.
No, that was the only thing that was correct, but the kill feed would be a different name, and then the scoreboard would be a different name next to it. But if you looked in the bottom right, it would be like saying it's whoever, but the cam was right or something like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I thought it went pretty smooth.
Yeah, and then as far as, like, the gameplay, how do you feel like the level of play was? Because, you know, teams are still kind of figuring the game out.
I think the coaches' poll really derailed some people's expectations. I knew that anything that wasn't a top 3 versus a bottom 3 team was going to be somewhat close. And that's pretty much what happened. Actually, we'll see some upsets, of course, but most of the games were very close. So it was very, very entertaining. Had some wild ones, some unforeseen wins and losses that we'll get into. But it's strictly like the gameplay, like the POVs of the player. They're definitely, you know, playing at a high level and a fast pace and utilizing the Omni movement to make it entertaining. Yeah,
for sure. All right, let's get into it.
Yep. First match, we had Minnesota Rocker going up against the Gentlemates here. We've got the classic Paul X picture representing Rocker, and then we've got the great value Hydra, who is Linz. Now, first thing that's glaring on this is you take a look at the KDs, everyone negative on Minnesota Rocker, and they pull out the dub 3-2. If you take a look at their winning margin, they are winning by a pubic hair on every map in this. They down to the wire, they just had more ice.
Yeah.
Game 5, round 11. And then you take a look at the winning the maps by Gentlemates, pretty convincing. Obviously 75 points in hardpoint, medium dominance there, but that's why we see the positive KDs, is because their 2 map wins were just, you know, far and above, more convincing. So obviously Priesta negative for the side of Gentlemates. What this screams to me is just a fundamental issue. They're obviously on, or it's just a map dependent team, because obviously in their wins they're winning by a lot, but they just don't have the ice and the numbers to back up those other losses in this match here. So, I mean, I didn't take too much away. It's the first match of the season. Just a lot of ice from the side of Rocker, and you know, look at the damage. I mean, everyone was shooting their gun in this series. No one had an especially slow series, and no one had anything crazy other than Skies. But Skies and Linz did their thing. But they got the L.
No, it was one of those series where LAG was kind of trolling, letting Minnesota back in. Rocker started slow that map 1, and I kind of thought LAG was going to steamroll them, and then they kind of just started bringing it back and got a lead, and then they almost trolled the end, but Estriel made a play to close that map out. So it was kind of a crazy start, but my main takeaway was Priesta's still a little iffy on the engagements. He's still a little slow. And Sky's absolutely fried this series, so I was like, damn, maybe this is like a Sky's year. And Sky's went right back to having low engagements, super slow series, the next series that they played, which we'll get to. So this team worries me slaying-wise, just because, like, you know, Linz is good, but he's not one of those dudes that's consistently just high slaying, dropping numbers like that. So, like, who's the guy on this team? You know, they're all liable to drop stinkers from time to time.
Exactly. I think I also just think LAG as an org is cursed, because if you remember the beginning of last year, they were very, very competitive with a bunch of the mid-pack teams, and were just had no ice at all. LAG would be winning maps the whole entire time and then just fall apart at the very end. I literally remember the Karachi hardpoint to kick off the season against New York that they just threw entirely. That P1 and then rotation to P2, I remember explicitly.
Yeah.
So maybe this org is just cursed, but obviously they do play again later on this weekend, which this was their only match of the weekend.
No, they both played too.
Why is it? Oh, the screenshot at the time they were 0-1.
Yeah.
My bad.
And then as far as like the meta and stuff, because this was the first match, so I was like, I wonder, you know, what the meta is going to be like. Are they just going to be running 2 subs the whole time? It seems like a lot of people just look to pick up ARs, and like ARs are being used the most. But Nero had a Jackal out the entire game, first map, and was frying. So like, I think it's a preference thing. Good. Yeah,
you can definitely be, and it's very hill dependent on certain maps too. So I think you'll always see, other than maybe 1 or 2 hills in the whole entire game, I think you'll always see one person with a sub out, and then that quote unquote flex player is going to be switching depending on the hill. So and then sometimes there might be 2 flex players, you know, on certain hills, like P5 on Rewind in the gen room. Like you might need 3 subs on that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and then other than that, I mean, you could just kind of tell that these teams are still figuring out how to play certain hills and stuff, and like, you know, there were some times on Control where like people would be trying to cap B, but they would have someone in P4 building, which would spawn the other team, the defending team, like back art, so they're just right there to run straight ahead and go to B. And like LAG was doing that, and it was kind of shooting them in the foot, you know? Like Kismet did that twice, I'm pretty sure, and it just made it harder for them to cap B. And, you know, in his head, he probably thought he was trapping them and doing good.
Exactly. It's just some fundamental issues, you know, on top of them dominating the maps they win and narrowly losing the maps they lose, and seeing these KDs. That also, you know, other than that, it screams a fundamental issue that they're not able to close out these maps. And so, but yeah, any other final thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, good first match. This kind of told me like this year's going to be competitive, or at least this split. Most of these teams are neck and neck.
Yep. Then we had Optic Texas versus Boston Breach. This was an unexpected end result here. We had 3 people on the side of Optic going positive, but we ended up with a loss. Kind of speaks to the wins that they had versus the wins, you know, that we had. Obviously, we were able to dominate that map. Shotzi looked ridiculous. As what he went.
He opened the game with a 10 streak, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so they start off really hot. Shotzi goes 38 and 18, absolutely frying. We're thinking, oh, this is going to be quick work. They mop us in the S&D. Our S&D looked very, very one-dimensional in terms of it was very spread the map. The offense was kind of, you know, work an area of the map, play the backside, look for any rotators, stragglers, whatnot. When what we've seen be successful in this is really just kind of squad hitting and just forcing a play out of the other team. And Optic did end up making some adjustments, as we'll see in their next match, but overall, this was just better team play out of Boston Breach. They were playing like they had nothing to lose, and Optic just ended up dropping those last 2 maps, unfortunately, to lose the series, back-to-back red cards.
Yeah. Boston Breach, and this makes us Optic the first champs winner to lose the opener the following season.
Is it really?
Yeah. or at least
Wow.
in the CDL era. So
And Optic has lost their last like 6 season openers. I remember seeing, so
really,
I wasn't worried. No, yeah, yeah, that's true.
that's insane.
Um, so I wasn't worried after I saw that. Of course, I mean it's the
Yeah.
first match of the season, so
Yeah, no, I'm not
whatever.
really worried about any of these teams,
No,
you know, from this
no.
weekend. But also, Shotzi had pink eye this match, and literally the night before, I'm watching Pred's stream, RIP, and Pred and Shotzi are talking, and Shotzi's like, "Yeah, bro, I don't even know what happened. Like, my eye was just red, and like it just kept getting scratchy and itchy, and like now it's really bad." And I was like, "Oh no, bro, this dude got pink
GG's.
eye." And I have his over the next day, so I was like, "Please don't shit the bed." And he literally one eye open, drops a 10
One
streak
eye
first map.
open when I'm sleeping. One okay. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. Shout out Shotzi for coming through for the L, but I mean, I wasn't too worried about this loss. It was more so of a underestimation from Optic side and
Yeah.
first match stuff going on, and Boston just playing the best COD that they could that day and coming out and taking advantage of the fact that they were probably slept on.
Yeah.
Then we got the Battle of the Birds, Atlanta FaZe versus the Vegas Falcons, taking some ideas from Wonder Woman here. We had a 3-1 in favor of the Carolina Royal Ravens. The Vegas Falcons definitely have gun skill and have
Mhm.
talent. They, in the words of Sachi, they just don't know what's going
Yeah.
on the map. I think, I mean, King and Body hasn't had a strong showing to the season, but they are looking really good at Search, and Search does come down to a lot of chemistry and
Mhm.
awareness on the map of what your teammates are doing. And we know that these guys have been playing together for a while and have that deep rooted chemistry in the bag there. So 6-2 in the Search was definitely impressive,
Mhm.
especially on a map like Skyline. And then they just got slammed in the control. They've had some control issues. And
Yeah,
then
the
they kept,
control was definitely a game sense experience diff
yes,
for sure.
yes. And then they've been pretty competitive in hardpoint, which we'll also see in their next match. So I definitely think they're only going to get better. I think coaching someone up in control is fairly easy to do than
Mhm.
compared to the other modes. So I don't think Clayster will have any trouble coaching them on that. But yeah, this is kind of what I expected out of the Falcons. I expected them to have some good chemistry, but just feel behind
Yeah.
in the respawns and whatnot. And Carolina, word to them, they looked really good. Slasher has looked really, really good to
Oh
start this
man,
season,
slasher.
which is scary because if obviously, even if Vivid is negative most of the time, we know he's going to be trying to make the right play every
Mhm.
time he spawns up and play around the objective. So I'm not too worried about his expectations. I think Slasher was the X factor for this team, and if he can play well, then they're going to play well. So that's what we've seen from him so far.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the Ravens looked really good. And did you happen to listen to the Falcons listen-ins at all?
I mean, yes, but I mean,
Dude,
I
they're
don't know if they're
intense,
talking
bro.
fast. I don't
They're
know if they're talking
intense.
slow. Because like when you don't know the language, you
Yeah.
can't tell if they're talking fast or slow. You
Yeah.
know,
I mean, I don't
like
know.
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, it
Because like
seems fast.
it seems fast, but they could be saying
They could be
he's
calm.
one shot.
Nah,
They
dog.
could be
There's
saying
no
he's one
way.
shot, but it sounds like they're saying 10 words.
Yeah, no, I feel that, but there's no way that
No,
any
I
of
know,
them
I
are
know.
calm. They were all tweaking, bro. They were
They
all like
also
full
they
tweak.
also throw in a couple English call outs every
I
now and
love
then
that.
because like
Yeah.
they don't have a word for it in their language or
Yeah.
something, or it's easier to say in English.
Yeah.
So
So
you'll
you'll
just
just.
randomly hear piano or
Yeah.
something like you'll just randomly hear piano or something. I don't know
Yeah.
why I sound Spanish. I
Yeah.
can't
No,
do
that
like
was.
a
I don't know. That wasn't.
piano. I don't know. But yeah, like that shit was funny.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, I
no,
think
I like their team though. Like you can tell
yeah.
that they've all played together, and I feel like that'll help them for sure.
Shotzi said that he thinks like they're all good, like they all could be
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
So we'll
Dude,
see.
this is
But I just
fun. We should have like a team of people who are good but never been pro, and just like develop them in the CDL. It'll be
that's
like an
funny.
experimental team, one new one every year Just bring him in.
And they get a guaranteed champ spot.
Yeah, and Clay's the talent guy that just coaches that team up every year.
Funny. Yeah, shout out Slasher. That's my main takeaway. He's coming out fine. Obviously, Gwen had a good series. But
yes, sir.
Gwen's a beast. Then we got FaZe versus Ultra. Well, this was definitely the game of the opening weekend. It was the last game of the night on Friday, so we were all excited for it. This was...
Yeah.
Why does it say 12:30? That's weird. I don't know. But yeah, this was the last one of our Friday here. We had a 3-1 in the favor of Toronto Ultra.
Shocking.
Definitely did not see this coming. I didn't. It's not that I wouldn't expect Toronto to be able to win. If they did, I would have thought maybe 3-2 or something like that. But they actually had a very convincing win. They dropped that first map protocol somewhat convincingly and then rattle off. And then they rattle off 3 in a row very convincingly. 250 to 178 in the hard point. Anything below 200 against FaZe is pretty convincing to me. So
yeah.
3-6 in the control, 3-6 in the search, and 3-1 in the control.
Yeah, dude.
They handled business. Kleenex 90 and 71 with a 1.27, and then Beans top of the lobby with 10,600 damage and a 1.06. They were frying, man. They looked good.
Yeah, Kleenex looked incredible, and Beans looked good. That's hence the green beans, because that man was in the green that day. And but honestly, after that map 1, I thought FaZe was about to just shit pump him 3-0. I was like, oh my god, like this isn't even close. I texted you and was like, bro, I said Ultra was the team to look out for. They're like the dark horse pick for me, and they just got absolutely shit pumped. Like, this team might not be competitive at all.
Don't worry, bro.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but they won that search and never looked back. I mean, once Beans gets rolling, he's nasty, dude. And we've known this, but if they can keep this up and, get better at making decisions and playing for the win, like, this team could definitely be on a Sunday.
Absolutely. I mean, especially if they're making the 3 out of the 4 FaZe guys go negative, right?
Yeah.
That's I mean, if you can do that, then all you need is just to have good communication, and you'll beat FaZe.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out Toronto, shout out Beans and Kleenex.
But on the FaZe side, like, last year when they kind of hit that lull and people were saying that they're having like mental issues in game, and I don't know, they're just not bringing the energy, and they were kind of like losing matches. Like, that's the vibe I got in this series. Like, no intensity at all. and like these dudes are, I know it's online, it's whatever, but it's the first match of the year, bro. Y'all are getting shit pumped by the Ultra. Like, come on. Where's FaZe at? And then I thought they were gone in the next match, but we'll get to that. But yeah, good for Ultra. They're keeping my agenda looking nice, and shout out Beans and Kleenex.
Yep. Then we get into Miami versus Falcons. This was very, very boring, but as you can see, competitive and hard point. But other than kicks, it's a red carpet on the other team. How did he have a 1.28? Jesus. Having a 1.28 and getting 3-0 is crazy. But as you can see, a narrow first map, and then they got the work the next couple maps. Miami is also a team with very deep chemistry with those core 3, and then bringing on Rancor, who's also from the same walk of life. So they have that chemistry just like Vegas do in that aspect. So obviously the teamwork and the talent came to show in the search and destroy and the control. Miami do look pretty good, other than the match we'll get to here soon in a certain aspect, but they definitely are starting faster than they did last year with an established core 3 and some new life from Rancor, and continuing that roster from last year. So shout out Miami with the 3-0. I mean,
vamos.
It's not like they're a top 3 team or anything, so even against the Falcons, it's an impressive 3-0.
Yeah, but I like teams like Miami. Like, they're definitely a team that'll be top 6 at some point. They're pretty much like they are last year. They kind of live and die by medals and lucky. I feel like you're going to get consistent performance from Real. Rancor thus far has been good, so if he keeps that up, he's going to be a great addition. But Lucky had a stinker, and we'll get to that in the next match. And that's just kind of going to be an issue going forward because I feel like Metals is very up and down as well. But when they're all on, this team is definitely not someone that you'd want to play.
Absolutely not. They're definitely a bracket buster. This is how.
Yeah, I also the picks here. We got Kicks or Khalid. He was the first pro to be on the top 250. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
So he's been grinding, and it's showing. That man dropped a 1.28. He's frying. He's putting the work in. And then this is just the Miami Beach because they were relaxing 3-0. That's probably where they went.
They had their feet kicked up.
Yeah, this is where they were 30 minutes after that match took place.
Now we got Rocker Boston here, so we've already seen a dose of these two teams play. This ended up going 3-2 in favor of Rocker. So we had some pretty close hard points here in the first match. It was pretty much just a very balanced slaying from Boston, and on the other side of things, Nero and Paul X needed some help. Tough map out of Estriel map 1. He went 15 and 28, so that's kind of where that stems from. And then Boston absolutely shit pumps them into control. They had 8, 9, 10, and 11 kills on the side of Minnesota. So that one was really rough to see. It was very convincing. Awakening only died 7 times throughout
that's crazy.
The whole map. But again, resilience from the side of Rocker. S&D prowess is staying strong. They said in an interview that they really liked their core 3, but they needed some helping when it comes to S&D, and that's why they picked up Paul X, which won't always be shown in his numbers, but also the knowledge and the strategy that he brings to it. So they get a narrow win in that vault hardpoint. It came down to the very end. It was 245 to 245 going in to the last P1 rotation. Minnesota had to break P4 and contest for a second to be able to push it. They were able to do so. I think it was Estriel having somewhat of a slow map, and then he pops a 3-piece in that P4 to keep them from winning, and it goes to P1. They had just gotten those 3 dead, so there was no one rotated, and they were able to get it. And then we go round 11. This is where they picked what they picked Paul X up for. He had a 1v2 or a 1v3 in this map and went 14 and 6. While the rest of his team went negative to get the dub.
Yeah, no,
crazy,
Boston.
Honestly, crazy match.
Yeah, and it's only 2 matches, but Rocker has consistently had ice in these series, so good for them. Estriel, he's just a playmaker. He could be dropping a 0.5 and then make the winning play. Like, It's insane. He did the same thing in the LAG match. Like, he popped a big play at the end of a hard point to close out the map. So props to Rocker for clutching up. Yeah, for sure. And then on the side of Boston, bro, they choked the shit out of both map 4 and 5. So, that's once again, that's got to be cleaned up. Purge.
Yeah, so
Purge on a not closing clutch team. Starting to think he might be the common denominator there. Because that was Vegas's problem last year. They couldn't close a single map to save their life. And Purge had to go.
Yep. All right. And going into the next match here, we have Vancouver Surge versus Toronto Ultra. So this is the first time we are seeing Vancouver step up to the stage in the weekend, taking on Toronto fresh off a phase win. Toronto take it 3-2.
Yeah.
It was Vancouver came out hot in the hard point with a 100-point win. Red card, Surge goes the way of Toronto. And then they looked really good in control. Last year, this Vancouver team, or Seattle at the time, really struggled in control. And it was never a good swing mode for them until maybe towards the end of the year. And so people were looking at a 0-4 and a Booza to make the right corrections and come prepared for the control, which they do. And again, that protocol hardpoint, I don't know what Toronto did because they got smoked by 100 by FaZe. Lose the map 1 hardpoint and then go and win a map they've already lost.
Yeah, they must have found a glaring issue in their strategy and were like, okay, let's play that tomorrow.
It could have just been on the verge of losing the match and needing to push it to around map 5, and they just clutched up, and then they go against and it's also, I just think Protocol is a map for people who are a little bit more ratty and can get lost, and I think 0-4 and Hixie are very smart when it comes to taking routes, so I think that could help. But we go to protocol round 11, map 5, and they're able to clutch up. So Surge actually make a little bit of a comeback here and are able to force around 11, but Toronto end up taking the map. We had a pretty balanced showing across both teams, but like I said, Toronto able to clutch up in the game 5, round 11. Beans 11-7 at the top of the leaderboard there.
Yeah, no, honestly, this whole match kind of felt like Vancouver's to win. They felt like they were playing better, and Toronto had no business winning, and somehow, some way, Toronto just kept winning maps and found their way back in. The difference was protocol, that hardpoint map, because Toronto was getting shit pumped in every other respawn this series. Like, Seattle looked really good in respawn. And then that map comes around. Toronto already has a rep on it. They probably found an issue that they fixed and played way better this day. And Seattle, I mean, this is their first time playing protocol hardpoint in the league this year. I'm sure they've scrimmed it, but yeah, I think they were just ready for that map. They won it. It's 2-2, and then a mixy search, round 11. Good for them.
Yep. And so Toronto looking to stay undefeated in search. They took the one against FaZe and then took both against search.
Yeah.
Getting into the next match here, we had LA Thieves versus Cloud9 New York. We already talked about it on the last episode. Or I guess no, we wouldn't have. When did we? I don't know what I'm thinking of, but Cloud9 New York has been on some server cheese. They have been very, very upset about the servers they're having to play from LA. Just move from LA, bro. Like, it's not that, like, just move from LA. Regardless of the server you're playing on, you weren't going to win this matchup. They take a round 11 search and destroy, which, if you're going to complain about internet, it's easier to play with one life than infinite in an ongoing match. So they're able to take that S&D round 11, and then the other maps were just a fucking stomping.
Just absolute shit
on the
pumping
side of Thieves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't have anything to add other than Mac being your top Slayer and top KD. You're not going to win.
Yeah, definitely not. Ping cheese aside, Thieves were just the better team. I mean, that's why I put the 17 Warriors on here. They're an absolute super team. Hydra was having his way, picking up right where he left off last year. I mean, they're going to be an issue all year long. And I just hope that the rest of the league can catch up and make it somewhat competitive.
I agree. Who knows? Maybe Hook ends up being better than Hydra.
Yeah, honestly, dude. He's been playing he is in Challengers.
Nothing else that I'm going to touch on this.
I will say Red Card Hardpoint is a tough watch when it's a bad game. Tough ass watch. Like,
I bet.
They spawned so far away, and Thieves, there was a point where Ghosty was literally just laying on his back on hill. And the other three players, 2 were on one side of the map, 1 was on the other, and they had them trapped, spawning on both ends of the map. And they were at least 100 yards away from point, spawning up and dying. Like, couldn't even see the point. And it was sad, bro. It was really sad. It was like watching a bot session, because they were just trapped in spawn getting shit on, and there was nothing going on.
That's insane. Actually.
Yeah. So tough
LA
one.
Thieves, just dominant. Then we get into LAG versus Carolina Royal Ravens. This is definitely another showing of how good Slasher's playing. And also Quinn still putting up the same numbers that he did in the previous match and continuing last year. Kismet, the only one positive on the other side of things. Like you mentioned earlier, Skies went back to his... I mean, his engagements weren't terribly low. He died 84 times. But he just wasn't winning those fights and playing a little bit more, slow pace, maybe getting caught in those timings while playing a little bit slower. But other than the vault control, this was all Carolina. 100-point wins in the hard points and dominance in the search. If they clean up some of that control, which, I mean, probably, watching that VOD helps a lot. They look good, man. I think I have them maybe at like my number 5 spot right now behind Toronto.
Yeah. No, they look really good. I put Master Splinter and Leo here. That's like Slasher and Gwen. That's like his little Padawan, his little trainee apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also obviously Thanos, because Slasher's been playing like he's the final boss. So
Exactly.
shout out Ravens, they've been playing really good. LAG, I just feel like they're gonna have issues this year. I don't know, man. They're just kind of gonna be meh, like just lackluster.
So Illy tweeted out today also a picture of him signing a contract.
Yeah, that could have just been bait.
It was bait.
Or him talking about who.
It was bait. He was in Zuma's chat and said he was baiting.
Yeah.
But Illy for Priesta.
Yeah. Now that would make this team interesting for sure. I mean, I think Illy can definitely slay at a higher level consistently than Priesta, but I mean, this is a good weekend from Kismet, and last year he was very up and down, so like if he's down next weekend, like they're fucked.
We'll have something to
they're
talk about.
fucked, you know? Like I just feel like nobody on this team can give you consistent good slaying, and they're all just kind of going to be meh. If they play a team that comes out shooting, they're screwed.
Yep.
Unless they get God tier at search, because they looked really good in that S&D versus Rocker the first series, and I thought maybe the Chem was just carrying them, but then they lost 2 more S&Ds in a row. So I don't know, man. I don't like what I'm seeing from LAG here early. But
yeah, I don't either. I also don't want to take any credit away from Carolina. I think they look really good.
Right.
But I really do want to talk about this next match here. If you don't have any other thoughts, Surge versus Heretics here. This is one where it's just like a freaking toss it up. Where's it going to land?
Yeah.
I think these teams stack up very well against each other. As you can see, we got 1 positive and a 0.99 on the side of Surge, and then 2 positive, 2 negative, more even out on the side of Miami. Real and Rancor, the subs of the team, having a field day while their ARs aren't doing too well. What I really want to discuss is the red card S&D. Round 11, it's a 4v2, 0-4, and I think Hixie or Nasty are alive. The bomb had maybe just been planted, and Miami are in a good spot. They're pretty spread out around the map from kind of making a play in the opponent side in Real to one's mid steps. Bomb is planted by the soccer goal thing outside by the stage. And they got 1 near the stage, 1 mid steps, and then like 1 kind of deep by garage, right? So they're kind of spread out the map where they kind of can corner the bomb site and retake really easily in a 4v2 situation.
Mm-hmm.
They end up bottling it. Real goes on a pinch, but enough time has passed where they have info on him. They get Real, and then they're able to make some trades near the site. 0-4 goes crazy, gets a guy off the bomb, and is able to play his life. And Lucky is, with 15 seconds left to defuse, is fucking nowhere. Yeah. He's on the elevator by the garage and is just absolutely... They flip to his screen and everyone's like, Lucky, where the fuck are you? Like, hello? He's just nowhere to be found while his teammates are dying and getting traded out near site. He's on the bumfuck opposite side of the map with 15 seconds left on the ticker. And so they just had no ice this series. They lost both of the S&Ds, and Protocol... Looks like Vancouver did some VOD review on their Protocol against Toronto from the night before and were able to fix their mistakes.
Yeah.
But we do see that inconsistency in control, right? That 3-0 in control. I mentioned last year Surge was not the best at it. So, they got that win in the matchup against Toronto, but as you can see, they get 3-0'd. So that inconsistency in control, at least through 2 matches, is still there.
Yeah, for sure. But... just a tough one from Lucky. I mean, yeah, really tough. So he was probably already thinking like, wow, I've had a dog shit series. He just wasn't there mentally. And then it's round 11 and he's supposed to like have a clear head, make a good play. And he did not. So
he was I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, that was insane.
At first I was thinking here, like, why is that picture up there? Then I forgot it's called a Rancor.
Yeah. I put a Rancor from Star Wars and then Lucky getting rained on. So, I do like these teams, though. I think Miami will be fine. They're just up and down. They could come out next weekend and all fry and be perfectly fine. These teams will definitely be a top 6 type of contender.
Absolutely. Next, we have Optic going up against Cloud9 New York. As you can see there, after this map, we had some more server cheese issues, and accuracy ended up coming on the flank after these matches, and shed some light. And man, did he do a great job
Mm-hmm.
on getting his point across. He let us know like this has nothing to do with Optic or anything like that. This issue is directly with the server issues in the league. And they said they almost were like they didn't know that they were going to play this match until a few minutes before. They were
Yeah.
pretty much dead set on forfeiting this because they were upset with how the league is dealing with it. They play test the servers ahead of time. They let them know that this server doesn't work for them. Come game time, they're not happy with the ping that they're receiving, so they tell them you either play on this ping or you play the server that didn't work for you. So they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And Optic, on the other hand, are lagging on the other server that is somewhat playable for New York. And so accuracy was like, guys, like if I'm Optic, I'm doing the same thing too. Like this is not on them for choosing the other server if they're lagging on that one server that Salt Lake server. So I definitely hear accuracy and I hear the frustration out of Cloud9. And not once did he make it an excuse for their losses. But
Yeah.
he just wanted to say like this is frustrating and it definitely plays a factor in our preparation and our mental when
Mm-hmm.
playing these games. And all the pros have supported them in saying that a total across four players of 10 ping difference between each of them, 40 total, even that little amount can make a difference at the highest level, and all the
Yeah.
pros are saying that. So and I believe them. I have been a part of, it was even worse on console.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I understand, but we were worried about Optic losing, to Boston in their first match, and worried about how they were going to bounce back against what on paper would be a better team in Cloud9, and
Mm-hmm.
they woke up on the right side of the bed here and were able to get business done. Shotzi with a
Yeah.
1.87 in the series is absolutely ridiculous. He was farming. When I was talking about is Hook gonna still enable Shotzi to get lost? This is the map I was thinking
Mm-hmm.
of. Map 1 and map 3, he was getting absolutely lost, going on long pinches. And the only reason he's able to do that is because his team is anchoring and winning the fights at the current hill or at the rotated hill, so he can just go fucking rogue.
Yeah.
So shout out to the three teammates too. I don't want to just highlight how crazy Shotzi is without giving them their flowers, but
Yeah.
Shotzi was elite in this series.
Yeah, no, I was laughing watching some of these series or some of these games in this series because
Yeah.
Shotzi would just keep winning gunfights and keep winning gunfights, and I'm sure they're checked because of the ping thing, and they're also just getting shit on. So that was just a bad combo for Cloud9, and they faced the full wrath of Shotzi. I mean, if someone's like, what makes Shotzi so good, just show them this series. He
Absolutely.
did everything that makes him Shotzi.
Yep. There was nothing else to say here. They were pretty much mentally checked out due to the server issues before the game and had no chance of winning this before it even started.
Yeah, I do want to say my initial reaction after their first match against the Thieves was, oh, great. You guys are playing from LA. I'm sure you were pinging whatever, but we're going to the timeline to complain about it so we don't look like we just got shit on. Oh, boy. Like a tale as old as time in COD pros, but no, they actually had some issues. So I retract anything I told you about any of these players or this team. I'm going to hold off on my judgment until I see them on good ping, playing good COD. Because I was ready to just say, why the fuck did we think this team was top 4?
All right, and then we had a banger to cap off the first weekend. We had Atlanta FaZe versus Los Angeles Thieves. This one started out super hot with a convincing win for LA Thieves in the map 1. This was pretty much just a dominance across the board. Hydra 31 and 17, and everyone else also positive on the team. Everyone negative on the side of FaZe. And then we get into a round 11. It was kind of a swing game. So, LA Thieves go up 2-0. Then Atlanta FaZe tie it 2-2. LA Thieves rattles off 3 to go up 5-2. Then they bring it all the way back to a round 11, and then LA Thieves were able to get the job done. The Vault control was pretty much just a bang out the whole way. Abizi and Simp, it's Vault. They had their subs out. They were running amok, and were able to get the job done and give them that map loss and initiate the reverse sweep. And they actually went down 0-2 in the control to start and FaZe had to reverse sweep the control to even stay in it.
Yeah, I don't know how they did that. I mean, we're talking like down 0-2 bad, like 2 quick ass rounds. Like I thought FaZe was just ready to chalk it up and get out of here.
Yeah.
I don't know how they turned this around.
I don't either. Something just clicked to where that one round went catapulted into 2 more, and then they go into the map 4 rewind hardpoint. And this was a pretty back and forth game up until the second rotation where 100 Thieves started to pull ahead by 20, 30, 20, 30. And then we get into that last rotation going into the P1, I believe, from P5. It was 210 to 237. Or I'm sorry, from... oh, wait, no, that would be P1 to P2. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
P1 to P2 on the third rotation. We thought it was over. They had 237 in climbing on the P1. They were able to come in, get it contested, banging out. They're down 210, 237. Initially, FaZe are not on the rotation. They give up, 10 or so seconds, so they're down 244 to 210 or so. They get a break and end up holding for a solid 40 seconds to win the game 250 to 244. Yeah. So incredible resilience out of Atlanta FaZe to force a game 5, going down to 0-2 off the rip. And LA Thieves end up taking that last round pretty back and forth. It gets to 4-4, and then 100 Thieves were able to take those last 2 dubs. And This was a stellar series. Out of Envoy as well. 187 with a 1.15, and it wasn't just the numbers. He was making it look good. He was using Omni movement. He was snapping. He looked like he was playing quicker than he was.
Yeah.
He looks like he did in BO4, if I'm being honest, with how snappy and quick he was playing. Envoy had a really good series, and if you're seeing that as a Thieves fan, looking at his performance on Ultra last year, you're really excited about that.
You spoiled bastards. They oh wow, look, we have Hydra. Oh wow, look, we have Scrap. And then you got Envoy playing like this too, and you got Ghosty in the comms, just insane, bro. In the listen-ins,
UAV soaking Hillkit.
No, he really is. He's great in the listen-ins. If you listen, he's insane.
Dude, I saw a leak of like the CDL packs, the team packs coming out, and one of the, I don't know if it's like a decal on the gun or if it's the calling card or an emblem or what, but it's Hillkitten.
Nice.
In the 100 Thieves bundle.
Oh my god, yeah, that's got
Ghosty
that's written all over it.
Yeah, but that's the work of probably that Josh guy.
Yeah.
Josh CHX. That's definitely the work of him.
He cracks me up.
But yeah, it was a banger to end off the weekend. FaZe start the weekend 0-2.
Yeah.
And we had them finishing first in the standing, which isn't a bad shout by us, but this is not a good start to that either.
Yeah, and this has to be the first time FaZe has been 0-2 in the CDL, if I can imagine. I mean, they seem like a team that just hits the ground running every year. So yeah, kind of crazy to see that.
Farthest ahead.
Yeah.
And everyone catches up to them, but let's see how that changes, because that has been the case throughout the whole CDL era.
Yeah.
They start ahead and everyone catches up to them. This is going to be the first time that
they got to catch up to Thieves.
They're playing from behind. Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's our...
I did want to say this was full Scrap antics. I mean, we got all the Scrap antics this match. It was awesome. Yeah. I mean, he was talking shit. He was pointing at the camera. He was
up, looking.
The neck gets crazy. Moving, and he's about to go off.
That neck. But yeah, let's take a look at the upcoming matches real quick. What do we got this week? So we've got LAG versus LAT. We're not even going to talk about that right now. That's LAT all the way. Cloud9 New York versus Minnesota Rocker, depending on the server.
Let's see if franchise curses still work. Let's see if franchise curses outweigh talent.
LAG over LAT.
Yeah, that would be funny.
That would. Cloud9 New York, Minnesota Rocker. I'm going to take Rocker. The ice is there. The mental is not for Cloud9. We've got Miami, Boston. That'll be a good one.
Yeah. I got Miami.
I'm going to take Miami as well. Optic versus Surge. I think this will be actually a good match. Hook.
With Hook versus old team revenge game. Give me Optic.
I'm going to say Optic 3-1.
Okay.
Then we got Toronto, Vegas. Toronto.
3-0.
Yeah,
3-0.
3-0. I think they continue their surge wins. Then we got Optic versus LAG. Optic. I'm going to say 3-0 on that one, actually.
I'm going to say 3-2.
Okay.
I think it's just Kiz and Skies will show up.
Carolina versus FaZe.
Damn. Oh, dude,
I
like
3-2.
this. I got Carolina because I want them, and I think Slasher will fucking show up for this.
I want Carolina, but
I know, but I think they're capable of showing up for this. Slasher will get the boys ready.
Boston Breach, Vancouver.
I just hate Boston. I'm not picking Boston ever. I don't care. Cougar.
Toronto, Miami. This will be a good one too. I'm gonna say Toronto 3-2. I think they win both searches and drop the control. Wait. 3-1.
I'm gonna say 3-1. Yeah. Lose a hard point though. FaZe, yeah, 3-0.
FaZe. Carolina, New York. I'm gonna say Carolina 3-2. This is thinking that they're on they're playing on a somewhat fair server.
Yeah, I'm still gonna say Carolina 3-0. Okay. I don't think New York just turns it around because their ping's better this week.
And then last one is before the mini tournament, by the way, which is after the
minor. Is this our first minor?
Yeah, minor tournament.
Okay.
We have LA Thieves Rocker. I'm gonna go LA Thieves 3-0.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, and that is our recap and quick look towards this coming weekend of matches. Definitely gonna be recapping again next week, and hope you guys also enjoyed our predictions as well before this. But anything else you want to add to CDL Week 1, Dak, before we get to picking bands?
Yeah, honestly, a thought just crossed my mind. They're Cloud9 New York, based in LA.
Yeah.
Nice. Good job, guys. Good job. We're talking like big esports org that's been around forever. You know, I feel like we should have seen these problems. We should have seen these problems coming down the pipeline.
That should have been the first thing I said when I agreed to join. It's like, are we playing? Where are we playing?
I mean, we're 6-7 years in the CDL now. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, they know.
Come on, man. Get them to Dallas. More and more teams are moving to Dallas. It's your turn.
Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and wrap up episode 47 here with pick and bans. Y'all know the drill. I'll go ahead and start us off here. My pick is these old CODs coming to Game Pass and PC or Steam. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was COD 2, COD 4, and COD 1?
Probably. Yeah.
All coming to, they've been seeing, I don't know, it got leaked somehow.
God, is COD 4 that old now? We got to group it in with 2 and 1?
I mean, it's only 2 years younger than 2, you know?
I know, but it's so weird to think.
But yeah, but more specifically, I'm excited for COD 4 PC to return. I think I might go back and play that campaign.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we definitely should.
If the multiplayer's populated, I would love to go and play that and just relax and play COD pubs, you know, just not give a fuck. Just go sit in a window.
Just COD in its purest form.
Yes, just pure.
One bursting to the chest with an M16.
Your gun is out, left stick, and aim down your sight. That's literally it.
Yep.
Go prone, maybe, you know. I'm not going to be doing no cheese. But I'm excited for that to come. So yeah, shout out to them for doing that.
Man, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm such an old head, bro. Call me Unk. I don't care. COD 4's the GOAT. God damn it. All right, my pick is way less cool. I have an energy drink recommendation.
Okay.
Rainbow Sherbet.
Oh, okay. So we're still on Rain.
Still on Rain, but new flavor, Rainbow Sherbet. I had never tried it before, and it blew my socks off.
I'm off the energy drink wave, man.
Really? You had to stop?
I'm on coffee.
Oh, I thought you were
I'm
just
just
quitting the
I like
fiend.
coffee now.
Maybe your
I
heart couldn't
was
take it no more.
I was a morning coffee after energy drink guy.
Oh my
Um,
God,
what? You're acting like you don't drink 400 milligrams a day.
300.
Okay, keep telling yourself that.
I mean, it's just a rain a day. That's
I
300.
thought you also drink that fucking crazy ass coffee.
Yeah, those are my off days when I'm not gonna go buy a rain. This is my coffee mug. I'm holding it
The
up
big
for the people to
motherfucker.
see it. It's huge, bro. It's like a bucket. So yeah, no, okay. On these coffee mug days, we're probably looking at 400 or 500. You're not lying, but that's like once or twice a week.
No, yeah, I was drinking like a cold brew from Starbucks and then half an energy drink in the afternoon or maybe a full one.
I'll edit
So
that
yeah,
out.
that was what.
Nothing.
But yeah, cool. Rainbow shirt,
Rain.
rainbow shirt.
Yeah. I feel like they missed the mark there. They should have done
They did. All right. My band is bridge couples breaking up. So let me do some further clarification, and I'll give you the tea after this because I'm not going to air it out
Okay.
on the podcast. But me and my fiance are definitely like, sociable people, but unless we're invited out to something, we're not going, what are we doing Friday night, Saturday night? Where are we going to go? Who are we hanging out? So we rely on what I call a bridge couple
Okay.
to keep us intertwined and invited and involved in things.
Gotcha.
Right? So this couple, let's call them Brandon and Lisa,
Okay.
are our bridge couple to the rest of our friend group. If anyone was to invite us, or if we were to text, what the move is, that's this couple, and usually if they're not there, there's a high chance that we probably won't be either, even though we're just as good friends with everyone else. They're just the communicative bridge to keep us intertwined.
Mm-hmm.
We have had some unfortunate news that they're currently not on a good, not together anymore, and so that just sucks because they're our bridge couple.
Yeah.
So like we don't.
Now you guys
makes it
are
a little
really
awkward for
homebodies.
us. Yeah, it's really awkward for us, because just our relationship with them. So that's my ban, is whenever we're a bridge couple, and everyone has one, or they're the couple,
or you're the bridge couple. If you
you're
don't
the
have
bridge
one,
couple.
you're the bridge couple, and you don't know it.
Exactly. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I'll give you I'll let you in on the tea after we finish recording.
All right. Well, I hope your social life recovers.
Thanks.
Y'all may
For
need to
sure.
find a new couple.
Yeah.
All right. My ban is tipping the suit person at the Tux rental place. That seems pretty crazy. So
Yeah.
today I went and got fitted for a suit because I'm in a wedding in March, and I was checking out. All the lady did was take the measurements and then say,
Her job.
yeah,
that she gets
yeah,
paid for.
literally her career, and took the measurements and then said, all right, we'll have the suit ordered to you by Tuesday before the wedding. Okay, cool, great. So I go to check out, and she's like, right here, it's going to ask you for a tip. I said, huh?
Huh?
Look down.
Did you-
There's a bunch of tip options, and it just in my head.
Did you break?
Hell no.
Okay.
I was like, tip? Like, that is crazy. In my mind, I was just like, what are we talking about? So, yeah, I don't know. I thought that was wild. Like,
No, that is wild.
literally, it was like a 5-minute in and out. Like,
Those
she did her
iPads,
job.
bro,
She did her job
they
and then went
ruined
back
it.
into the back office to go, like, chill and watch videos. There was nobody there. Like, I was probably the only customer all day.
I'm all for raising the minimum wage, so I have more of a reason to say no, dude.
Yeah.
Like you're getting paid to do your job.
Yeah, so I don't know. I was just like, wow, they're asking for tips here. I didn't know that was a thing, and maybe it's a thing for a reason. I don't know what she's getting paid, but I just feel like that's kind of crazy. Like, if you're not getting paid to do your job and you have to rely on people to tip you to go measure people's suit size, then
Yeah,
what are you doing? What are we doing?
I recently got bigger balls when it comes to it, because I feel like, like the last, maybe before this year, I was like kind of like I would break.
Mm-hmm.
I'd feel so bad. Like this year I've gotten bigger balls and just been like, no, dude, 0.
Yeah.
But yeah, good picks, good bands. How do you feel? Week 1, our first for BO6, our first CDL recap. How's it feel?
I'm excited. I mean, COD is back, and I'm looking forward to it. But I feel like we haven't really. It hasn't hit me yet. Yeah, because we haven't really seen anything. I think that first minor is when I'm really gonna be like, oh yeah, like this is gonna be a good year.
Yeah.
And we'll have a better idea.
I don't agree with what the minor does fundamentally, but it's more content for us and more competitive for us to watch. So
Yeah.
I'm all
Yeah.
for it. But yeah, sweet. Thank you guys so much. That's been episode 47 of the Next Wave podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed the CDL recap. We'll be back next week for recapping week 2. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. And we'll see you guys in episode 48. Doses.